Hey guys, welcome. Welcome aboard if you're brand new. Welcome back if you're not. And welcome home if that sits just right for you. Today we want to do something a little different. I have had a request to do a love reading. Messages from the universe regarding the person that you're interested in. What does the universe need you to know about the person that either that you have a crush on, or that you're perhaps started a relationship with, or that you're in a relationship with. In fact, just the universe needs to tell you something about this connection, specifically a love connection. So if you have one person in mind, you can choose one pile. If you have 2 or 3 people, you can assign them. That's fine. You can listen to one or all 3. It doesn't really matter. Just so you know that your intuition has to run this show, right? So if the message feels resonant, then you can pick that up and run with it. If it doesn't, please leave it here. Pick a different pile, pick a different reading, anything like that. So the messaging is always going to be the messaging. You have 3 piles today. Pile number 1 is this absolutely beautiful Trochus snail shell. Can't you just see them? I can. Pile number 2 is this beautiful starfish, right? I saw a live starfish the last time I was in Oregon. It kind of freaked me out. Pile number 3 is this lovely Nautilus shell. How cool is that, huh? Just beautiful. Just beautiful. So you can choose now. I'll give you a couple minutes to check it out. I'm not going to stop and do an oracle pile today. We're just going to grab a couple oracle messages in the reading. So 1, 2, and 3. Let your intuition choose the pile, please. Do not push. Do not force. Just let the messages come to you. And I will see you in your reading or readings. Hey, pile number 1, those of you who picked this beautiful Trochus. Let's see what messages the universe has for you regarding this connection, regarding this love story, this possible relationship, however that works for you. Remembering that this is a general reading, make sure those messages fit your story, and not that you have made your story fit the messages. And you can take that to the bank here and everywhere else in your life, please. It's very important. Your intuition is a divinely gifted tool, so let it be used as such, right? Ooh, giving birth. I am bringing forth new and dynamic energy into the world. Okay, now that is a big energy, pile number 1. That's really big energy. So this is about inception. This is about clearly giving birth, right? So depending on what this means, I don't necessarily witness this as pregnancy, but if that fits for you, roll with that, right? I think that generally when we're talking about the concept of birth, this is about inception. It's about things that are begun or beginning. So this relationship, as you get Gemini here, could be bringing to you an awareness of a new way of communication, right? It could be a new way of expressing yourself, a new way that you're being invited to express yourself, right? So consider that we do our work in private, right? We do the work in the isolation of our own souls, minds, bodies, etc. Necessarily, you know, I tell my clients all the time, no one can do your sit-ups for you, and no one can do your work for you. You have to do that work on your own. And so the way we test that work is in relationships, right? So the way that you test whether or not you're ready to expand your style of communication, right, is through a relationship. The way that you notice whether or not you have actually done the work of security in your expression is in relationship, in the way that you're able to express yourself freely in a relationship, the way that you're able to express yourself in a non-reactive way in a relationship, right? And the best part about having this Gemini here is that this relationship can really take any form. So I would say to you, this might not even be necessarily a love relationship for you. This could be some different kind of relationship. Wow. If that's what's going on for you, that's beautiful. But if it is a love relationship, you have evidence of that here as well. So what is the universe telling you? I think the universe is telling you that you have been pushing people away for a very long time. Yeah, absolutely. So the universe is saying to you, hey, by the way, pile number one, you might have been doing this work for quite a while, and it's time now to remember that we have to live in the real world. We can't just live in our head. We can't just live in this world of ideas, right? Because what happens there is we get caught up in conflict and there's no resolution. There's no way to create resolution in the world of self-ideas, right? When it comes to the way you express with others. You just can't do that. You can hold your own court. You can, debate yourself. You can move your ideas within your own mind, but you never get to the proving ground of whether that is a functional idea until you're in a relationship, until there's a back and forth, right? So I think you understand how it is that you want a relationship to feel. And in fact, you're willing, right? You're willing now to allow that vulnerability. I think that there's been a lot of work on your part. And I think here's the deal. I think you've had a very successful run at singlehood. I think some things happened and you really were called to do your inner work. And I think that you got to that place where you're like, I'm good. How about you, right? But this area of your life where you want someone is knocking, right? This is a loud knock. And the idea that things have to change feels a little conflicting. You're asking yourself, do I have what it takes? Well, the universe is saying, you know what? You actually do. And you have a benchmark, right? You understand what it wants to feel like. I think one of the things that I'm hearing very loudly is be cautious about creating a really hard image of what it is that you want, right? Pay attention to the fact that the way that you want to feel is a fluid thing in nature, right? And people are not the same every single day, right? We are always giving birth to our next best self every single moment, right? And so the more that you choose to allow that person that you're going to step into relationship with to be as their best self, you have to recognize that just as you are deeply changeable, so are they deeply changeable, right? And that they're going to have the same kinds of triggers and they have done the same work, and they are going to be in the same situation of this relationship is also a proving ground for me, right? And so the way that you get to create your relationship is that every time you come into conflict, you set that container to regroup to collaboration, and understand that every single time there's a hurdle, it's an opportunity, right? You're going to overcome the hurdle together and move forward together, right? You have the High Priestess and the Emperor flanking this. So you have this deeply intuitive and this deeply pragmatic energy surrounding this choice in terms of how to move forward together, which is a beautiful thing, by the way. Okay, Page of Wands. So this one, it probably came in hot if it's already there, and if not, it's going to come in hot. You might appreciate that a little bit more and be patient with it, right? Birth is a process. Just because you understand what's going to happen doesn't mean you're prepared for the way it shows up. So, okay, Temperance, right. This is lovely, right? This allows for the awareness for both of you to really be in process, to understand that no matter how, so Daughter of Wands is the go, 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 right? And Seven of Pentacles is a, wait, that's a 6. Oh, this is a give and take. Okay, so this is a give and take. Sorry, I totally thought that was a 7. All right, well, we're going to talk about both of them because I disbelieve that it would have shown up in my consciousness for no good reason. So reciprocity and patience, right, get you where you want to go. It's going to feel like you want to charge ahead. You're going to have to honor the pauses, right, the regroupings. Gemini energy wants to go, 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 go. Giving birth requires patience, 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 and strength. And the honoring of the process, right? It's not always going to feel up there on top. Yay, this is great. Then you lean into this 9 of Pentacles energy and say, okay, I'm good. I'm good, and then we're good. I'm good, and then we're happy, right? I'm perfectly in control of my being, and we can manage our emotional state together fearlessly, right? Fearlessly, which is absolutely beautiful, by the way. Temperance is a card of synthesis, right? It's how we test our mettle, right? So I really like the way that plays into this message for you. My pile number 1s. King of Pentacles, super grounded. Again, just being rooted in your own strength. Oh, okay. And really witnessing the harmony, the unity, right? The balance, the concept of yin and yang, the 6 of Pentacles, the giving and receiving, the reciprocal nature of how we're going to have everything and how we're going to constantly rebirth it, constantly choose it anew, right? Gorgeous, gorgeous for you. I like it. Well. Last but not least, you get the Ace of Cups. So my pile number 1s. This is your guidance at the top here. So this is about trusting your heart, trusting your feelings. Here's what I'm going to say for you. What does the universe want you to know? Trust the process, right? Trust the process. Don't rush it. Trust the work you've done and be willing to do more. Ruthless vulnerability in communication, right? Be open, and welcoming, right? You have to be in this receptive mode and communicate so deeply. And and understand that every day is an adventure, right? Look at Calvin and Hobbes. Every day is an adventure. I like it. I like where this relationship is going, as long as you're mindful of your pacing and to not be demanding, right? To allow for resolution skills to build, right? Trust builds as communication keeps going. So, good luck. I think you've got this 100%, pile number 1. So I wish you nothing but the best in this relationship and in all things. Thanks for being here. If this is where you roll out, I wish you good luck. Hit like, hit subscribe before you go so you can come back and tell me how this goes. All right? Take care. All right, pile number 2, those of you who chose this starfish. I like it. Let's get rolling here, right? So let's remember, first of all, that this is a general reading. And please always trust your gut when it comes to not just tarot readings on YouTube, but everything in the world. Your intuition is a finely honed system straight from the divine, and it wants you to share in its messaging. So we're talking about what does the universe want you to know about the questioned connection? Who is it that you have on your mind? And what does the universe want to tell you when it comes to that connection? Okay. Savoring pleasure. I fully embrace bliss in my life. Well, I am a giant recommender of savoring bliss at every place you can. Here's the deal. This might be a lovely relationship that brings you a lot of joy. The question that I will ask you and that we will ask through the rest of this reading is, what is the basis of that pleasure, right? And is it sustainable? You know, quite often I speak to clients or say here that sometimes we take things like self-care into the range of distraction. So if you have a relationship that is a distraction, that might not be the best thing. So you draw Saturn as well. Now, here's the thing. Saturn is the planet of limitation and restriction. So like I was sitting here thinking, wow, Eileen, that's a pretty hefty thing to put on a card like savoring pleasure. Like, are you in distraction mode? What are you not doing? But then you get Saturn, and I feel like my messaging was correct. So here's the deal. There are relationships in our life that that we give ourselves to, that we create as more important than the things that we must do, that we put in front of our own lives, right? So if you have an aspect of codependence in the relationship that you're in, you're being advised to pay attention to that. I can't say that that's absolute truth for the relationship you're in, but if you chose this pile, as we talk about how this really creates an opportunity for you to be aware, it seems like that might be a message for you. So if you're avoiding your business and taking care of someone else's business, you may want to put a pause on that, right? If you're putting your life on hold for a relationship or another person, if you are changing your long-term plans to to manage someone else's life, right? If you were, let's call it, if you were gung-ho and really on the ball, and all of a sudden you're sidetracking and sidestepping, that might be a challenge. Now, here's the deal. If this is done in the spirit of collaboration, if you have chosen something different, that's a different ballgame, right? But if you're sidetracking, if you, I'll use an example from my own life. At one point, I was about to begin school to become a Chinese medicine practitioner many, many, many years ago, and got into a relationship that caused me to stop that line of schooling. So do I believe that at the time I thought that it was the right thing? I'm sure I did. Was it in retrospect? No, probably not. So, but I mean, here's the deal. Every decision you make is absolutely the correct decision. You are being advised to pay attention to the pattern you're creating, right? That's, oh, hold on. You had a little jumper, so we're going to take it. Yep. So your jumper was the Two of Cups, right? So this might actually be a very deep love connection. What you're being reminded is pay attention to the choices you're making based on that connection, right? You still have to function in your own life. You cannot, without consequence, change your course. You cannot, without consequence, change your course. The warning is that if you invest too deeply in someone else's life, you may lose perspective in your own. And that's never a good thing, guys. That's just never a good thing, right? So you have the Fool, right? So there could be some undertakings, right? This relationship might feel like a free fall. It might feel wonderful every single day. Here's the deal. You still have to do your own work, right? You still have to do your own work. Even if this relationship is a divine connection, you still have to do your own work, right? That was the message in the first reading too. You still have to do your own work. You can't avoid your, you can't avoid your own responsibility to yourself because you're in a relationship. And if you are, and if you've been doing that, and if you have that sense and feeling, this is a great reminder to, say pivot point, and figure out how you're going to reel that back in, right? Absolutely. You can reel it back in 100%. And I think the fact of the matter is that you're being advised that that's absolutely in your best interest. And here's why. Because how you move forward is up to you, right? The legacy that you leave, the legacy that you're creating, the future that you're manifesting, the way you're managing yourself, the priorities you're putting into action are 100% up to you. And I will say this, while they might be wonderful and feel directed in terms of I'm working for the good of this connection, of this relationship, you are being reminded that a relationship is 100%, 100%. It's not 50-50, right? You have to be a wholly whole human as you step into that relationship. And what I mean by that is not, what I mean by that is not that you have to be completely whole and healed before you step into a relationship, but you have to be willing to enforce your boundaries in a relationship, right? If you want it to be 100. Sure, there are some days where you're going to be at 20% and you need somebody who's willing to pick up the slack for you. Vice versa is true, but it can't be at a deficit or a surplus all the time, right? It has to balance out. And if it doesn't, you have to be willing to pick and choose the things that have to be put down by you, right? If you're giving away all of your drive, if you're giving away all of your will and your power and your choice, if you're choosing to look away from your passions in sacrifice to someone else, you are being advised to rethink that, because there'll come a day where you resent that. And then you'll have to, there's a whole nother thing that will have to happen then, right? A whole nother thing. It's wise to divest yourself in service to your connection, right? Come clean, be honest, talk about it. Say, listen, I have this as a priority in my life. Do you support that? I support these priorities in your life. Can you also support me? Right? If you can't be honest with the person you've chosen for partnership, who can you actually be honest with? Right? So I feel like there is, the word I want to use is a reckoning, right? That needs to come between you and this person if your relationship is to actually move forward in a positive way. And so I believe, pile number 2, that what you're being advised is to take your priorities into account and find out if your relationship is servicing your priorities or if they're being sacrificed to or for your relationship. Pay attention. Pay attention. I think you've got this. It's going to require a little bit of work, but in the end, I think you will be grateful. So I wish you nothing but the best, pile number 2. If this is where you leave, thank you for being here. And if you keep going, I'll see you there. Either way, hit like and subscribe so you can come back and let me know how it goes. And be very, very blessed. Hey, pile number 3, those of you who chose this gorgeous Nautilus. Come on, it's so beautiful. All right. Please remember that this is a general reading. Do not force your messages ever on any channel or in your life, right? It is super important that you let your intuition do its job. That's what it's for, right? Follow that feeling. Take the messages that you're given and put them into, there we go, into action. Nope, I don't like it. Into action, right? Always exciting. Okay, thank you. Well, there you go. Trusting your intuition. My life is truly guided. There's an irony there, don't you think? I like it though. You know how it goes with pile number 3s. You know how it is. There's always a little something extra in the 3rd pile. I don't know why, but I feel like there is. Could just be me, right? Okay. Oh, look at that. Healing. Chiron. Beautiful. So here's the deal. If we're talking about trusting your intuition, my life is truly guided. All I can say is I don't think you'd be here if you didn't already understand that on some level. Excuse me for just a moment. Okay. Anyway, I don't think you'd be here if you did not already have some inkling that your life is always guided. Perhaps you are in the process of working on that new narrative, right? And that's a challenging thing to do, no matter what stage of your life you're in, because that discernment is always kind of exciting. Wow, 3 of Wands, I think, has come out in every single reading. So this is really about the way that we're scripting that future. So okay, Page of Pentacles, Hierophant, 3 of Wands, and the Death card. Temperance, 7 of Pentacles, King of Wands, whoa, hey, yo, and the Hanged Man. Okay, so here's the thing, pile number 3. I believe that this relationship in your life, I think that I think you're talking about a past connection here. I think you're asking about someone who has exited your life. And I think that it may have been someone for whom you had what felt like a subordinate connection. And by that, I mean only that either they were the leader of your relationship or they were an authority figure, right? So this could have been, well, I mean, I mean exactly what I just said. So I think that the thing is that there was an expectation that this person would be in your life longer than they were. And I think that you're having to adapt to their loss in whatever nature that exit took place. And I think that you've been doing a lot of soul searching. And I'm going to say, I think that you may have been in a pretty dark night of the soul for kind of a while. And you know what? I'm going to say to you right now, that's okay, right? The universe wants you to know exactly as long as it takes is as long as it takes. And sometimes we don't even really heal, right? I think that there are some, let me rephrase that. I believe that no loss in our life comes with a healing, right? We don't just get over the things that are losses in our lives. We have to find a manner to subsume that loss within our souls. And then what happens is we grow around it, right? But we never don't have that loss as part of our experience. It never goes away. You don't heal from a wound like this, right? This is a deep, this is a chasm for you. This is a chasm, and it has necessitated some very huge shifts and changes, not only in your life, but in your life path, not only in your journey, but in what feels like your destiny, not only in your belief system, but in the way that you show up every single day. And here's another thing that I'm being asked to share with you. The places where you believed that your light was dimmed or even extinguished, those are the places in which you shine the brightest. Those are the places in which your self-ignition is recognized, not perhaps always by yourself, but by those around you. And so the way that you are choosing to heal from this loss, understanding that you're not healing from, but you're healing perhaps with a loss. Let's say that you're healing with a loss, right? Right here, Four of Swords is healing with a loss, right? This is the way that you reignite yourself, right? The idea that you can reignite yourself might be the new thing you needed to hear today, but please rest assured that you are self-igniting, even on the days when you do not believe it, even on the days when you don't feel it, even on the days when you would argue with me, right? It might feel confusing. It might feel conflicted. It might feel like you want to debate it. But the bottom line is you're being reminded very, very gently. The Empress is super nurturing energy. This is energy that will hold and cradle you, right? For as long as you need it. For as long as you need it, right? Even if it's just a little peek through the keyhole, right? Even if it's just a little peek through the keyhole, that Empress will hold that space for you while you're in conflict, right? While you're in your green goo self, moving through transformation, moving through, right? Moving forward, learning that new balance as you heal around and with that wound, as you heal and learn how to move forward in a new way, right? Because let's face it, you have to learn how to move forward in a new way after a serious loss. You can't move forward in the old way. It just doesn't work, right? No matter how passionately you feel it. But rest assured, you're feeling it, right? You have enough energy surrounding you and supporting you that even if you don't believe it right now while you're hearing this, please believe it, that it will happen. Your shift in perspective may be temporary, right? It may need readjustment over and over and over and over again. You might need realignment a million times, but you can do it, right? You can absolutely do it. Yeah, so temperance is the way that we forge ourselves, the way that we synthesize the before and after, the way that we sharpen, hone, and test our metal based on the experiences that we've had, the way that we move through the fire, right, and come out stronger. And you have to come out stronger if you've grown around a loss, right? You've added gravity, you've added weight to your being. And so the only way that you can get through that is to add that gravity, to be stronger. Whether you believe it or not, this is what I'm telling you. Whether you believe it or not, this is your message, pile number 3. You've got this, even when you don't believe it. Everyone around you is watching you learn how to walk again, right? And to run again, and to fly again. Everyone around you will witness when you learn how to laugh again, when you learn how to choose again, right? You have support. You have a lot of support, and you have a lot of opportunity. Lean in, right? Lean into those people who are supporting you, and you know who they are. Let them help you. Let them support you. Let them hold your space, right, through this point of transition onto the next part of your journey, which is healing, right? Never doubt that you're going to get there. Never doubt that you're going to get there. Never doubt that there's going to come a day where you feel free to be in your joy, even with this loss as part of your story, right? It is coming. I wish you many, many, many blessings, my pile number 3s. This cannot be an easy path, but that is your message. Trust the journey, right? Even when you don't get it, even when you don't like it, even when you don't want it, and I know you don't want it, trust the transformation, right? You've got this. Be blessed, my pile number 3s. I honor your pain, right? And I also honor your success, and I honor your joy, whether that is here or next, right? Thank you for being here. Thank you for your bravery and your courage. Thanks for listening. Hit like, hit subscribe, come back, let me know how you're doing, okay? And be blessed. We all see you. You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job, pile number 3. Never doubt it.